Former big league umpire Joe West is starting a podcast. Freddie Freeman makes a Braves regret letting him go. And Robinson Cano addresses demons with his Mets teammates. Not to mention that the Colorado Rockies ink another starting pitcher. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now, before we get into all those stories, I'm going to need you to do a couple of things for me, please. First, leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. Next, go over, smash the red button, go subscribe. That is the best way to show support here on the channel. Then go over, ring that bell, get notified so you know when exactly I am pumping out great baseball content all season long. And finally, if you want to get active, go down below in the comments section. I would love to hear your thoughts on all the stories I'll be covering here in today's video. Alright, let's lead it off with this Robinson Cano story. Now, as you know, Robbie Cano was suspended all of last season after testing positive for performance-enhancing drugs, and in the beginning of this season, he had to come into Mets camp addressing this situation with his Mets teammates. Now, that was pretty awkward, and Robinson Cano elaborated on that awkward experience that he had to go through. This is from the New York Post. Says the 39-year-old had to make amends before arriving in Port St. Lucie. Now, he reached out to a handful of Mets teammates, including Pete Alonso, Jacob deGrom, Max Scherzer, Brandon Nimmo, and Frankie Lindor. Cano says, "I called them and apologized for what happened. As veteran players, they deserve that respect." Now, this is what new Mets manager Buck Showalter had to say on the situation. He says, what are we supposed to do? We're not planning to beat him up every day. What's the return there? He's wearing our colors. Now, I get where Buck is coming from. I'm sure Buck has been there before. So to me, it seems that he knows what he's dealing with here. It's a sticky situation, a delicate situation, but at the same time, he's not sugarcoating what Cano did. He's not saying, it's that no big deal, don't worry about it. No, I think Buck is fully aware that what Cano did was wrong. He's a two-time offender, basically, in that sense. 3 strikes, I think he should be out. If he does it again, I think he's gone out of baseball. I think that's the way it should be. I'm happy to hear what Buck has to say. He's not going to bash a guy publicly. I'm sure it's a little uncomfortable in that clubhouse for guys who haven't used PEDs, or maybe like a Jeff McNeil type guy. But the point is, you got to be delicate, and you have to address this with kid gloves. And I think that's what Buck Showalter is doing here. And I love his statement. He's addressing it. He's not dismissing it. But yet again, he's not throwing him under the bus because, again, like he said, he's wearing their colors. And even if he wasn't, I don't think Buck Showalter would publicly go out there and bash any player who's used PEDs before. I haven't seen him do it before, so why would he start to do it now? But, interesting situation for Robinson Cano and the Mets. Now, topic number 2. Former big league umpire Joe West is starting a podcast. This is not clickbait. This is legit, and it's called the 5,460, the Joe West podcast. That's the name. It says, for more than 40 years, Joe West was at the center of some Major League Baseball's biggest moments. During his illustrious career, he became an all-time record holder for most games umpired with 5,460, hence the name. Now, the umpire who earned the nickname Cowboy will bring his unique perspective, stories, and baseball insight to the podcast Heat Network with the Joe West podcast. Now, it says the podcast is starting on May the 2nd with new episodes dropping every week, hosted by longtime member of the St. Louis Cardinals broadcast team, Mike Claiborne, who will take a look at the life and career of Cowboy Joe West, which included umpiring 3 MLB All-Star games, 8 divisional series, 10 league championship series, and 6 World Series. Now, this is what Joe West hopes to bring to the podcast and share with you guys, the fans out there. He says, "I hope the audience will find my experiences and the people I crossed paths with over the last 44 years as interesting as I have. I'm looking forward to sharing my stories and talking with old friends about the game we love." Now, look, I find this podcast to be really, really intriguing. I want to listen to it for sure. I can't wait till it comes out. I'm a guy who loves stories and loves baseball. Basically, that means I love baseball stories, old baseball stories, baseball history. And that is exactly what Joe West is going to provide with his podcast. He's a storyteller. He's been around for 44 years. He's seen a whole hell of a lot. I've always wanted to hear the perspective from a Major League umpire. They are one of the few that many of us fans don't really know about. Very excited. Go check it out. Again, it is called the 5,460, the Joe West podcast. So go check that out, I believe, on Spotify on anywhere you guys find your podcast. I can't believe I'm plugging Joe West podcast. That's kind of funny. Now, topic number 3. On Monday night, LA's new superstar, Freddie Freeman, brought Dodger fans to their feet and Braves fans to their knees as he hit his first home run with the Dodgers against the Atlanta Braves. Now, Freeman hit a solo home run in the first inning to give the Dodgers the early 1-0 lead. First home run had to be against the Braves. It was meant to be. Crazy things. The media was all over it. Freeman was emotional. Before the game, they presented him with his batting title award, and that was really cool. Brian Snicker there. That was really cool. So great theater before the game and during the game, and of course the Dodgers won that game by the score of 7-4. Not to mention that Clayton Kershaw made his 100th career start that game at Dodger Stadium. So there's some history there. Also, he is only 14 strikeouts away from capturing the Dodgers' all-time strikeout record. It's currently held by Don Sutton. Now, Don Sutton has 2,696 strikeouts, and he only needs 7 to pass the Dodger Hall of Famer. So that is something you guys got to keep an eye out when it comes to Kershaw and the Dodgers. Finally, it looks like that the Colorado Rockies have extended one of the starting pitchers, that being Kyle Freeland, the 29-year-old lefty. Yeah, according to Jeff Poston, our friend here on the channel, we love him. Gotta get him on one day. He says left-hander Kyle Freeland and the Colorado Rockies are in agreement on a 5-year, $64.5 million contract. This includes a 6-year player option. Sources familiar with the deal tell ESPN, and he will be staying with the Rockies through at least the 2026 season. Now, also, you gotta remember that Freeland is the 3rd starter Colorado has given a long-term deal to in recent years. The right-hander, German Marquez, in 2019 signed a 5-year, $43 million deal, and they also inked Antonio Senzatella. He got 5 years at around $50 million over the winter. The Rockies are making moves. Everybody was confused with the Chris Bryant move. Why'd they get Chris Bryant? I mean, they let go of Nolan Arenado. They let go of Trevor Story. What are they doing? I mean, this makes a little sense here. He was a guy who I thought had to bounce back in a big way in order for him to stay in the league, but apparently the Rockies, they trust him. Now, I just want to mention, again, small sample size, but he is 0-2 right now with a 10 ERA with only 7 strikeouts and 4 walks and a whip of only 2.0. So that is not good. I mean, not a great start for Mr. Kyle Freeland. But hey, I guess it doesn't matter to the Rockies. The record right now doesn't matter. They're looking towards the future, and they trust him, and they believe that this guy can be a part of a winning culture and hopefully deliver a championship to Denver in the form of a World Series. So that's all I got for today's video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Comment down below your thoughts of all the topics I covered here today. And as always, I will catch you guys later. Oh, and by the way, real quick, go check out my Roger Maris documentary. I worked really hard on it. I go over his life and legacy in baseball. I would really appreciate it. Go give it a look. The link is right here somewhere. Go check it out. I would appreciate it. And again, I'll catch you guys later.